6-2吧。可以啊，这我们3号位很屌的呀，被我们拖累了，没办法。有道理的，有道理的。不一定啊，一直输啊，感觉可能要解散了呀。好的，
A 级垫底的
好，拜拜。
DOTA 2开启全新篇章 ，DOTA Plus 加入游戏，英雄修行解锁徽章，陪伴你从入门到精通，从新手成长为英雄。英雄语音聊天轮盘，诙谐幽默，
值得信任的
你心中的话语，借英雄
我可不吹牛皮，升级绝对是好
完成任务
东西。
即可获得英雄碎片，全新特效套装等你兑换，彰显不凡和尊贵。英雄圣物记录成就，带你回味每一个精彩瞬间。游戏中获得的数据将被忠实记录，数据也许冰冷，但其中跃动的记忆无比火热。勇士联赛再度开启，呼朋唤友，挑战极限。信任与配合是 DOTA 2不变的主题，更有 Plus 助手带你快速上手游戏。也许曾离开，但全世界的玩家都期待你的归来。DOTA Plus，DOTA 2的新时代。
读书人的事情怎么能算偷？这是欺负。自作自受。
你非常酷。
毁灭。时间结界。
裂地监测，青蛙快跳！可怜的魔导，
死亡之指。你软绵绵的法术真是扶不上墙的来。进攻！超新星！月食！雷神之怒！神灭战！末日！接招！原来是这样的。黑洞！来吧！
要陪丽娜玩吗？会被烧焦的哦。
他们无论怎样武装，也不足以战胜我。
第一份祭品已经奉上，欢迎来到奈摩尔的地盘。They call me Squid.
They call me Squid. 我的爱上林丹笑，有5个你。
是谁在呼唤水晶侍女？
如果世人不承认我的存在，那就有必要再重新造。
还需要介绍？
灭落已经消失，只有主宰尚存。看看这群待宰的羔羊。
没有什么角色是我模仿不出的。
Hey everybody, welcome back here to the CDEC. My name is Art Cryptic and I am here with Neff and I am so excited. It's another fantastic night here of some great Dota. We had a pretty sick 3-game series before, but Neff, break it down. What do we got ahead for all of these lovely viewers?
We got SHENZHEN versus Extreme Gaming, and this one is bound to be a good match. Both these teams, I think they're among the lowest played series so far in the CNDPC. Extreme only having played 2 matches so far, with 1 win and 1 loss. The loss being to an open qualifier team. Yep, YBB, the open qualifier team that had players that were previously on Extreme Gaming, and then kicked off and removed, made it back through the opens again. And now they're up against SHENZHEN, the other open qualifier team, immediately afterwards. So are they rattled? Can they beat them? Can SHENZHEN take on this team of Giants Paparazzi? He's nothing to scoff at here. And both teams open up with solid heroes in the meta right now.
Yeah, it's going to be a pretty spicy game. I am super excited.
Clean Feed isn't caught up.
Oh, yeah, Clean Feed is, they're not showing the draft yet. I was going to say, don't spoil. Yeah, we're waiting on the feed to actually show the draft. They'll pop it up there in a moment. But yeah, they're talking about the previous series we saw here, the match results. You know, they went 2-1, dropped to YBB. SHENZHEN, obviously the other open qualifier team. So hopefully Extreme... they might, they're probably sweating a little bit, losing to one open qualifier team. SHENZHEN looked equally as strong or nearly equally as strong. You got to be careful. These teams are very good despite being open qualifier teams. And I love it. It just means the level of competition is so good.
There we are. The Clean Feed's caught up to us now. We just need a moment to get into the game. My bad for spoiling that one, everybody. Didn't mean to. But yeah, SHENZHEN, they've had decent performance so far. I mean, they ended up taking a series off of Neptune, but most people have done that other than CDEC, like we just saw. That's going to be a tough series to follow up here, though. That 3-0, the ending of that series was very hype. I'm not sure if you caught the end of that one while you were setting the broadcast up, Ricky.
I only saw some of that game because I was getting things ready. I did watch like some crazy buybacks into diebacks and like defense, like pretty solid holds, but yeah. Neptune managed to pull out a victory. I think that was the end of their run here, right? They're completely done, aren't they?
That was their last game, yep. So they're going to end of the season 1-6, which is insane if you think about it. They're only like, a week and a half into the DPC, but because the Chinese region is so condensed as we're doing the Division 2 first,
it went fast, man. There was not a lot of time for improvement here. This was
I think some teams have only played 1 series so far, and they've had to do 7 in that time.
Yeah, dude, yeah, that's right. Some teams in other regions have only played a single series, and they just played 7 in the same time frame. People ask, one of the biggest complaints I think a lot of people have had was like, teams want to play more Dota. Like a lot of the players were like, we want to play more. Like we're tired of these 1 game a week shenanigans.
This is some cursed monkey paw.
It's the most cursed scenario of that where you're like, yeah, you have like 10 days to play 7 series. Good luck. And
then you got nothing for the next until the second season of the DPC if you're in Division 2 especially. But I suppose, you can scrim, you can take some time to relax and watch these other teams. But where they're sitting right now, they're sitting at like guaranteed relegation.
Nearly.
On Neptune Gaming.
Or yeah, it might actually be unless CDEC somehow forces can CDEC even force a tiebreaker? I think they would both just end up at the bottom. It's hard to see. We'll work out the numbers later, but every other team has 2 wins except for Extreme, but Extreme has only played 2 series. So yeah, it's gonna be real interesting to see how this all plays out. But yeah, definitely not looking good for Neptune right now. You know what is looking good though?
The draft?
Yeah, baby. I'm really liking Extreme's draft. This Baden pickup is sick.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty solid against most of these heroes. I mean, Nick Sasson's going to struggle to blow him up. Viper as well. His dots aren't going to do too much. If you're playing against the Viper inside the lane, then you're simply going to be able to... Oh, that's a good one. You're simply going to be able to, drop the Aphotic Shield under his Poison Stack, break the stacks that he's built up, and negate the majority of the damage after he wastes
Shadow Fiend.
Yeah, that one is going to be, that's a spicy one right there. And we've seen more of this picked up.
Dude.
I'm not a fan of the hero. I feel like he is incredibly underwhelming in the competitive scene.
Dude, you and me have such different takes on this hero because I was spamming the crap out of this hero months ago. I loved Safe Lane Shadow Fiend, and I'm hoping that this is what it is. Because I think Safe Lane Shadow Fiend is incredibly strong. The thing that you have to be careful of, though, are heroes that can get on top of you. And they picked probably the best one in the game as far as getting on top of heroes go. They grab a Spectre on the side of SHENZHEN.
This hero is fallen off a little bit post-TI. God, I think towards the end of the International, it got a little bit less popular, but the nerf to the Aghanim Scepter was the big thing, right? That extra 10-second cooldown on the Shadow Step, the Aghanim Scepter.
Yeah, it was necessary. That thing had way too low of a cooldown. It was just way too strong. As soon as you picked it up, your hero was just like, yeah, I can literally fight every 30 seconds. It was a lot.
Yeah, that on top of like being able to spam out daggers, being able to sit inside, like you can sit anywhere on the map and just continue to farm, and all of a sudden you'd be able to join your team whenever they're trying to take an engagement. You have decent nuke damage as well, because when you drop the Shadow Step, it throws a dagger out to somebody, so you can clean someone up in a fight if they're sitting at like 400 HP fairly easily, with very little commitment, and then just go back to what you were doing before. So good for a multitude of reasons, and like you mentioned, against the Shadow Fiend, being able to get on top of them makes it even better. So you're gonna have to build a lot of defensive items as this game goes on, or try to put enough pressure on SHENZHEN so this Spectre doesn't manage to get any farm. I think it's just going to be over if Spectre gets a Eye of Scotty this game, and the issue is now compounded.
And the other thing too with Extreme Gaming, I was gonna say, they actually, because it's Paparazzi, he is a SF specialist. I think we saw the other day he managed to get 6 raise stacks at level 1 and solo the enemy mid laner within the first like 35 to 40 seconds of the game. So it is going to be Paparazzi taking the Shadow Fiend mid as opposed to the safe lane SF that we've seen a lot. They respond with the Morphling. You know, that's pretty good matchup into the Spectre, but I'm really curious what SHENZHEN decide to take last here. It's got to be your mid lane hero, right? They're taking an off lane Viper for sure.
Yeah, there's no reason. Well,
is Lina banned? Okay, yeah, Lina and TA are both banned.
I mean, it was against the TA that he built those 6 Shadow Ray stacks up against last time, right?
It was Batrider, I think. Wasn't it?
Oh yeah, it was Batrider. I'm crazy. It was a safe lane Templar Assassin.
Yeah. I'm just like, for some reason I remember it being a Batrider. He was just like, he was like building napalm stacks. I was like, wait a minute, I have 5 rays. I was like, I have 4 raise stacks, and he still has 2 raises left. He just couldn't. You got zoned. Like, you have the situation where he's like, I can't go forward and I can't go back, so all I could do is right click the Shadow Fiend. Oh,
Ricky,
what are they doing?
They're doing it again.
The Batrider. Okay, I mean, so here's the thing. This is a Batrider. I think this is a Batrider favored
lane. It's supposed
lane.
to be Batrider favored. Yeah, but
Paparazzi's just a god.
Being the man that he is, you know, Shadow Ray stacks, 6 of those, a lot more hurtful than 6 Sicky Napalm stacks.
Yeah, the math probably goes the way of Shadow Fiend there, I would say.
Yeah. But it is interesting that they chose to pick up the Batrider against this lineup. I mean, you're picking the Batrider into an Abaddon.
It's and a Morphling who can become an Abaddon or anything like that. So you like, it's not like the best thing, since you'd have to have an Aghanim Scepter for that, and you'd probably just rather have 2 Shadow Fiends hitting for like 400 damage. But yeah, it is a little strange. You don't normally see that, but I am excited to see how it plays out.
I'm not sold on it personally, Ricky. I feel like this is an absolute insane pickup here by Ash, but SHENZHEN, they've impressed me so far. Extreme Gaming, they did end up dropping that series to YBB there, but I still feel like they're one of the strongest teams inside the tournament, even though they're not undefeated like Asta Ares is.
I think that's actually a pretty good assessment. I think a lot of like the top 4, like honestly the top 4/5 teams in Division 2 here, I think are really evenly matched. It looks like Aster Ares is probably the #1 seed by a little bit of a margin, which isn't that surprising. Like, I think we both expected this based on the last season's results, and just the fact that it's an all-star team. Like they've looked super strong. I think the biggest surprise for a lot of people is YBB showing up as well as they are, because I wouldn't be surprised if this is a team finishing in the top 3 at this point. Dawnbreaker. There she is. Game 1, baby. Let's go.
Let's go, Dawnbreaker. All right, and we'll switch over into the game because I think you're on a little bit more delay than me with the clean feed. I'd like to be on the same page as you.
Yeah, you know what can you do?
Looks like Tank has gotten up. But yeah, I wanted to break down these heroes, the lanes, a little bit more now that we're actually inside the game. So you are exactly right. It is going to be a seed in the offlane on this Viper here, playing this into the Morph lane. And you do have a difficult time actually bringing down the Morph. Everything you have on Viper is damage over time. So it's very easy for him to just attribute shift over to strength, heal back up if he has some tangos, a salve, go back in the lane again. And AFC doesn't, get items to sustain his mana growth or mana restoration, then it's going to be a very one-sided lane. Eventually, Morphling is just going to out-damage you and click you down. His opening item is going to be, looks like a Wraith Band and a Witchblade. I actually wouldn't mind seeing a Soul Ring here. We saw this the other day from the offlane Viper.
Yeah, that was actually a kind of strange one. I didn't really expect the offlane Viper to go the Soul Ring, but it did kind of work out. It was just a much cheaper version of that mana regen item, which typically is the Falcon Blade. And I think Falcon Blade definitely scales better because it's not something that you want to just sell off early like you would with like a Soul Ring. But
But he's got the Witchblade keyed up right now. That's just going to add to the issues that you have is, okay, Morphling Ultimate applies the basic Dispel. Abaddon Shield applies the basic Dispel. Like they've, in all likelihood, you're going to end up buying a Yule Scepter on the Shadow Fiend in this game. So you have a lot of, you just added one more tool in your kit that they counter out naturally with the items that they're going to be building. So I don't think that's ideal. I'd much rather see a Soul Ring early on, maybe a run of Atos to continue to chase people down. You've got decent chase already, though.
I'm wondering if he selected Witchblade by accident instead of Falcon Blade. He's like, wait, that's the wrong blade.
Wrong sword.
Hold on, there's too many of these swords nowadays.
My favorite is the anime build when mid Void Spirit, where you go. Some people go Witchblade, Kaya Sanj, and what was the other one?
Mage Slayer.
Yeah, right, Mage Slayer.
Yeah,
that one's fallen off now, though.
Yeah, it was really strong when Witchblade and Mage Slayer were had just been buffed. So Paparazzi's doing the same thing as he did last time. He's just running at him, making sure to keep the raise stacks up on top of this Batrider. Sitting at 3 right now, but well played by Ash. He will not allow him to keep them. So just going to back off, but Paparazzi does get his level 2.
Not going to make the same mistakes that he saw the other day. Letting him build up 6 Shadow Ray stacks is a significant mistake, and as long as you don't let Paparazzi do this in the first creep wave, I think you're going to be fine.
Dude, he just crushed the first 2 waves. This is a lesson for any of you out there who are mid Shadow Fiend is dead. Watch the first 2 waves that Paparazzi just played and then just do this. This was so perfectly executed from a mid Shadow Fiend. That was so sick. Yeah, he's crushing. He is 6 and 6. This is unbelievable.
Ash is mind flayed right now. 1-0 on your Batrider up against Paparazzi. You've got 2 stacks. He's just underneath your tower. Manages the aggro perfectly.
Hey, he just comes to the lane with a stick, iron branches, and mangoes, and just raises every single creep in the lane as well as the hero. This was so well done.
Yeah, he's going to get his bottle with perfect timing as well. It's going to come out to him probably in the next 15 seconds. He'll be able to grab a water rune as soon as they spawn. So obviously at 2 minutes, it's not so easy for any of the supports on the side of Shenzhen to contest these water runes from Shadow Fiend. Then at 3 minutes, he'll go and he'll grab the bounty rune as well. And okay, the pause comes out.
I'd also like to note, normally, this is the reason you would be doing so well is because you would have vision on the enemy high ground. He doesn't. He actually has no ward. So he's just relying on the creep providing vision usually on the high ground, or just walking up or guessing. So
yeah. He's playing such a bully as well. This is exactly how OpenAI plays.
Yeah, right? Dude, Paparazzi's been studying, man. He's decided to, come back with a vengeance, learn from the bots.
1,000 matches against OpenAI before I return to Dota. Wins them all. This is what he learned on the Shadow Fiend, but he didn't win the last match that he played Shadow Fiend. It was up against the Bat Rider, though. He did crush the lane, but not as hard as he's crushing now. We got the first blood last time, but I think this is like even worse.
Yeah, because Ash is getting nothing. Like in the other game, he got first blood, but the wave like pushed into the tower, and you know they still found Storm still managed to find some farm and recovery, and it was just like able to take jungle creeps and stuff as well. But right now, like Paparazzi's just getting every last hit and pretty much every deny.
He's forced to send himself out of Sal fairly early on the Bat Rider. Doesn't have a magic stick.
Just sitting at max necromancy already.
Yeah, he's only got 1 point in it, so it's only 11 bonus damage.
Oh my goodness. Oh. Bottom lane, Mars gets first blood. Okay.
Just telekinesis, lift up, spear into the trees, and a God's Rebuke. Just ended up being a little bit too much for the Ogre Magi. He's very tanky, but he was too far forward there for sure. So he ends up getting picked off. We're too busy mesmerized here by Paparazzi's performance in the mid lane that we don't care about things like Ogre Magi getting beat down.
It's all right. The mainstream didn't catch it either, so Jerry doesn't have to feel too bad this time.
We are the mainstream, Ricky.
Oh, yeah. You're damn right. Yeah, I mean, this is... we can talk about the other lanes. We'll come back to the absolute monstrosity that is Paparazzi mid in a little bit. But yeah, bottom lane, Rubik Mars. It's not as strong as like the Snapfire Mars combo because you just have so much magic or physical damage from that. But with this lane, you rely a lot more on the magic damage that you get from the Rubik, right?
Yeah. You'll be able to nuke people down, and that's essentially what happened last time. Rubik is able to beat you from pretty far range. He's decent at trading with the enemy and, whittling them away, but he's not amazing at, ganking lane, setting up kills. Telekinesis, very short duration, disable. Cast range on it isn't great at level 1 either.
Man,
So,
Ogre
it
is such an annoying hero, dude. Fire Ignite is wild.
Yeah, way too much damage on that spell. At level 1 as well. The massive slow as well. He gets on top of you, beats you down with his club.
Like, it's 100 damage, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it hits, like, everything. It, like, always hits everyone. And then you just, like, hit them a couple times. Like,
yeah. Like, on Crystal... Like, if playing against Crystal Maiden, she ends up throwing out the Frost Nova or the Crystal Nova onto people. It does a bunch of damage, but you just kind of stay separated from that. And Ogre will just hit everybody, like you mentioned, as long as you're in vision of him.
Yeah,
it'll land. It's very annoying to deal with, but Mars is dominating this lane. Unfortunately, Ogre Magi, whenever he tries to step forward onto the Rubik, he can just auto attack him back, and if he goes too far forward, well, he got punished last time, and he's a little bit hesitant to play far forward again because of that. So, in fact, he's setting himself out some infused raindrops right now to deal with his Rubik.
That's really smart. I know I said we were going to come back to this mid lane matchup, but I'm afraid, man. I'm really afraid. I just looked at the CS.
Don't worry about it. Just like my therapist says, if there's no solution to a problem, it's not a problem. It's just part of your life. And Paparazzi is just part of Shenzhen's life now.
Oh my god. Yeah, this is going to be a very scary Shadow Fiend. So...
Oh, yeah.
You're going to have to address this problem at some point. At some point, it can't just be part of your life because it will overwhelm you.
Yeah, but there's no solution to the problem, you see.
The solution is friendship, Neff. Getting help, asking for help,
Yeah, but you don't have a support that's great at doing that. Like, maybe Ogre Magi rotates in, you can throw an Ignite and a Fire Blast. Well, unfortunately for you, you're playing against Unbaden, who could simply TP in and drop an Aphotic Shield and take off the Sticky Napalm, take off the Lasso. Speaking of...
Well, Paparazzi's just dead. After all of that, he just died, Neff. Sometimes you get a haste rune and you build up a bunch of napalm stacks and think you can go fight the rune, and turns out you can't.
I mean, he felt so powerful compared to this Bat Rider. He had like a level and a half on him. No other rune other than that one would have allowed him to do what he just did.
You never underestimate the power of Sticky Napalm. And the last time we saw this, actually, Paparazzi used Requiem at the rune so that the Batrider wouldn't be able to find the kill. So I'm surprised he didn't go for the Requiem play here, unless Batrider, he might have already been 6 before the kill. It's hard to say.
He got impaled.
Oh, is that what it was? Okay.
Yeah, Nick Zass was there with the assist. But yeah, wasn't able to get that one off, unfortunately. The fear definitely would have saved him there, but it's one of the reasons why the Batrider is fairly good, so he turns it around on him. But regardless of that solo kill, he is still up 1,100 net worth on the Batrider. It helps, but it's not the game changer that you need just yet.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, Batten wasn't able to get over there either. If he had, then I think Paparazzi might have been able to stand his ground and click him back. But that happened. He just comes at you fast.
Yeah, it's much like life. Bottom lane. Telekinesis into a Requiem. Paparazzi finds himself his first kill of the game.
Yeah. As soon as he saw Batrider walking up towards him, he decided to pop the Requiem. That was his safest play. And then, of course, when you see him channeling it, Batrider just turns away.
Better's so like, all right, yeah, you do your thing over there, bud. Yeah. I want nothing to do with this.
Yeah. Unfortunately, DY is forced to sit behind the Shadow Fiend. Batrider does realize that he's over here, so he's not going to be able to go forward onto the SF now.
Yeah, 8-minute runes, and SF wins the 50-50, this time getting an Arcane rune, which that's going to be quite useful. Just going to be able to farm with that pretty heavily. Got 4 points in the Shadow Rays. Should be able to clean up these stacks in no time.
I actually didn't pop the Arcane rune for that one. So
yeah, I was kind of surprised, actually. I was like, man, I look dumb now. Thanks, Paparazzi.
Maybe he's saving it for the Ancient stack.
Oh,
all right.
Yeah,
Theory.
Probably.
Tank is going to move over to the Ancient stack just before the 9-minute mark. He's going to stack it one more time, and then Paparazzi is going to 6 Shadow Raise it with his bottle.
Dude, I hope you're right. That'd be a sick play. Well,
Tank?
Too late.
All right, no, too late.
Oh, salve?
I don't know what that's all about. We can look elsewhere, though. We haven't talked too much about the Mars, even though, well, we talked about him for a little bit, but I don't think we've given him justice this game. Talking about how farmed Paparazzi is, but 200 net worth behind him, also at the top of the chart, 800 ahead of the next highest hero in the game on Radiant, is give it down here.
Dude, he bodied the Spectre here. Spectre left this lane a long time ago.
Yeah. And Spectre's got a all right. That is very ambitious. A Radiance queued up as your first item in current year.
Yeah, I saw that. I didn't want to bring too much attention to it because I was like, he's definitely he's gotta.
He's gonna be changing his mind.
He's gonna change that, right?
Yeah.
You're right though. Shadow Fiend did pop that Arcane rune there for the Roche. Jesus, for the Ancient stack.
All right, and just like Batrider was just kind of sitting there and taking the abuse in the mid lane, I think Morphling's about to experience that same thing in the top lane. DY is sitting behind the Morph, so they can't really dive this.
I think he just lasso the Abaddon, right?
Yeah, I'm sure that's the play.
Oh, hello. Looks like they don't even need to commit the lasso. Now Ash on his way to the Morphling. A little bit afraid to jump that far, though, as he just decides to turn around. I guess they were worried about the TP option, right?
Yeah, you're worried about the TP from the Mars. He's level 8. He's sitting at full HP and mana down in the bottom lane. He'd be able to turn things pretty quickly. And the Morphling is the majority of your damage. Outside of that, I think
as a really big
the Viper's the majority of your damage.
Here.
I think you'd be able to get away on the Morphling though. But yeah, big rune.
Easy tier 1 tower bottom is Extreme Gaming starting to pull ahead a little bit here. 3,000 gold advantage. I mean, look at the net worths here at the 10-minute mark, Neff. Like, this is, I guess we're at almost 11 minutes, but Paparazzi is enormous, and so is the Mars. Like, we've just been watching them be so much more farmed than everyone else in this game.
Yeah. Neither the hero, like Spectre couldn't lane against the Mars. Batrider couldn't lane against Paparazzi. Yes, he did find that recovery kill. Same thing didn't happen in the bottom lane, unfortunately, and they're just gonna run you over at this rate. I mean, it's not great that your Morphling's struggling a little bit more right now, but if your mid and your off lane are able to find this kind of farm, like, they're gonna be making this Morph space. He can probably get away with going. I was gonna say he could get away with going greedy items, but he's gonna go for a Perseverance into probably a Lincoln Sphere pretty quickly.
Oh, nice sentry. Scouts the Nyx Assassin on that Vendetta. Traps them inside the arena into a beautiful Requiem. Double kill. Picked up by Tank on the Rubik. You know, that's the coordination I like to see. They were not afraid to commit all in for that tower, so they get the mid tier 1. And a couple kills to boot. Neff, what do you do now?
I don't know. You try, you give up this area of the map for sure, and try to establish control of your triangle. Spectre's gonna move through her jungle right now, and I don't think that's the optimal play. I don't think you die to the Mars if he catches you out without him having his Blink Dagger, but it becomes much more difficult for you to farm. And I was concerned about their ability to find farm on the Spectre with how quickly Extreme Gaming is going to play, and they are playing very fast at the moment. With all their cores sitting at the top of the net worth, I don't think the Spectre is going to have the time to find the Radiance, man.
No, and Morphling is going the Radiance, so he's gearing up to fight. Like, he wants to be involved with his team. He doesn't want to have to, you know, worry about just getting lassoed and killed. But yeah, he's gonna be able to just like farm pretty freely this game, because I don't know what you do like once he has this Lincolns. You can't just find the easy kill. He's gonna be a lot more difficult. Oh yeah, bottom lane, lasso onto the Mars. He doesn't have the mana yet, but DY comes on in trying to keep him alive, but there's no way he gets out, right? 4 poison stacks will be enough, and Seed turning his attention over to DY. The Abaddon will be able to make it away. Tank here on the Rubik, snipes Drink, and will telekinesis send back Seed, and DY is going to be just fine.
Yeah, nice pickup there on the way out. I think in the middle, like towards the end of that one, he realized he was going down the Mars. Instead, he just turned around, tried to do as much damage to a couple of these heroes that he could. Yeah. Because of that, they find the kill off of the Nyx Assassin on the way out. And again, there's no way the Viper's going to be able to kill the Abaddon with borrowed time and Aphotic Shield, especially not with his Witchblade build. Yeah. So weird to me.
Dude, Tank has Vendetta, and he's going to do a lot of damage if he sees him. Oh, he actually cancels his Vendetta auto attack for a telekinesis, so steals the Viper Strike, throws it right back on that Viper, and Tank's going to make it out alive. So, great pick off at the end of the day.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm with you. I'm a little bit confused by this Witchblade build. It does not feel like it's going to do what you want here.
No, I mean, it makes sense on one hand. It's another dot. It does magic damage and slows them even more than your poison attack is doing. You amplify the damage with a poison attack. But against the Abaddon, who's just like taking off these dots, these debuffs that you have, you're wasting your gold, I feel. It's not giving you any extra mana regen, and he's kind of low on that. He's got the Keen Optic, he's got the Infused Raindrops, they're helping a bit, but again, confusing build from my point of view.
Trail of Burning Doom. I was trying to figure out what is it that has a Abaddon just literally on fire. I was like, I've seen this gem before, but I couldn't remember what it's called. It's from an old courier. It's very cool.
Do you remember which courier?
I don't.
I've got absolutely no idea.
At least I'm pretty sure it's from an old courier.
Well, Aikyo up in the top lane. He's saving, man. Got 2,700 gold. He is indeed working towards this Radiance.
That's impressive. It is impressive, but like,
I mean, we tell him that he can't, but he's trying. He doesn't have a single death yet this game. They're up 8k net worth on Extreme Gaming, but they haven't started pressuring tier 2s. Like, Morphling isn't really going to come online, and Extreme Gaming isn't really going to be putting too much pressure on with his Lincoln Sphere build on Morph.
Does he commit for this? I feel like he will. He's just going to try and look for Hara. Oh, there it is. Yeah, there's not a lot you can do here. That is a haste rune on Paparazzi. He's just going to get that free kill. And Tank manages to steal only a level 1 Fire Blast. Not the end of the world.
Yeah.
But yeah, the thing I worry about with this Spectre is you're like, okay, you know, we're almost to this Relic, and we'll eventually get this Radiance, you know, around like the 18 to 20 minute mark. But by that point, you're going to be like, Lincoln's is already done on the Morphling, and you're on your way to a Manta. So I just like don't really know where the recovery is going to come from Shenzhen if it's not like the team fighting. So maybe it is you try and make some big plays happen around this Radiance, but you have BKB already done on Paparazzi, and Mars is now working on his, already has the hood completed as well.
Yeah, and it has to be a big play around like that immediate Radiance pickup because, you know, when you don't have the low cooldown
the
Shadow
smoke. There it is. The arena plus the blink reveal. Batrider thought he was safe. Picked up there by the Morphling, and the tier 2 tower now under siege. They've got a catapult here to make this just that much easier. They can fort for the moment, but
Yep.
I was like, is Mars gonna bulwark it? But not a lot of damage from a tier 2 tower.
Yeah, he doesn't have a. Actually, he's got decent armor between Broom Handle and Soul Ring and Phase Boots. That's not bad. Wait,
There's a tier 2.
this doesn't add up.
Yeah, I was gonna say that definitely doesn't add up. 6 plus 5. I was like, he gets.
I know. I went to the NA School of Maths, but I don't think that's quite right.
I'm seeing plus 8 just between the phase boots, so plus 10 is what it should be. So why is it showing half? It should be plus 10, right? You should have 16 armor.
Yeah, I think it does this sometimes. Does it say that he's got 310 movement speed?
Yeah, it also
Yeah,
says he
that's
has
not right
310
either.
movement
He's
speed.
definitely moving faster than 310 right now.
Well, Mars base is 310, isn't it?
Yeah, that's not counting his boots. So this happens every so often. It's calculating the damage and the movement speed properly. It's just not displaying it properly.
Yeah.
It's just a visual bug.
I don't know if I'd call it a bug. I think it's more of a feature from like
Feature?
these indie games. You know, like it really does increase the skill curve. You know, where you have to run the calculations yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's like a really important thing.
Yeah, well, we don't want to make the game too easy.
Do you have what did you call it the other day? The number
My
thingy?
abacus?
You know, you said it was a number thingy.
My number thingy,
You're
yeah.
looking for a number thingy, and I was like, you mean a calculator? And you're like, yeah. You just got to make sure to have one of those handy at all times.
Yeah. No, you got a phone, don't you?
Roche number 1. Easy take here for Extreme. Little DD rune on Ava never hurt anybody. But further increasing their gold lead. They'll grab this Aegis. Probably, I mean, I'm okay with it going to Paparazzi personally because he's likely to be the one that's going to get lassoed. And I think that's what their idea is too. So they are going to give it to Paparazzi, allow him to save that BKB for the second life.
Yep. That way, you know, Abaddon can stand behind him as he tries to take the tower. If he gets lassoed, you just drop the Aphotic Shield on him. If someone manages to get the disable off onto the Abaddon, which is tricky because you have no silence, and he can just pop his borrowed time if you do disable him. Oh, this is super hard, man.
Yeah.
This is tough for Shenzhen at this point.
Yeah, it does not feel good trying to get any of these kills. Like, they're all very difficult to secure. And Viper did manage to finish up his Dragon Lance, you know, which is nice. This is the one thing, like, that is a really solid item on this hero. I feel like if I'm Viper right now, if I just went for, I don't know, like Soul Ring or the Falcon Blade, I would just have a BKB now, which is really important to have.
Yeah.
Maybe not quite, but you'd be very close, right?
Mm-hmm.
You'd be about maybe 500 gold away.
Is a little suspect. I mean, it gives you 6 armor. Like, if the Morphling gets on top of you.
That is true. I do underestimate the armor component of Witchblade. That is a big deal. Because Viper really does love being able to just tank up. And in this game, armor is incredibly value. Is Presence of the Dark Lord is a free Desolator +1. An AoE. Yeah, it's a Desolator +1. It's a super deso.
It's such an outdated ability, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, it's one of the relics of like Dota 1 where abilities were just very plain and one-dimensional, but it has just managed to stay in the game. It's like, what does this one do? Ah, just reduce armor, I guess.
Yeah.
Morphling, good awareness bottom lane as DY catches Drink with the dust. Arena's gonna pin down the Viper as he just gets bursted. And Drink stuck here all by himself. No spells left, trying to hobble away, but other side of the fight, telekinesis from Tank's gonna find Hara, and Paparazzi just walking on over. Revealing that new Shadow Blade, gets himself his only his 3rd kill. I'm just like, I saw killing spree pop up. I'm like, damn, I feel like this guy should have way more, but
no. Not many kills have happened in this game. It's 4-11 so far. The SF has been able to farm pretty uncontested. And, you know, some of these heroes on the side of Extreme Gaming, you know, they got the early towers. They started putting pressure on people. Batrider didn't find any farm inside the laning phase outside of that single kill they got courtesy of the haste room. But outside of that, they control very little.
So Batrider does have the bots BKB, though, right? Which is a really big timing.
Mm-hmm. but he still doesn't have the damage in order to fight into these heroes. I think like maybe if they find the perfect pickoff onto someone, they can find the jump with Batrider and Haunt, but not with his Aegis still active, and not with all 5 heroes on Extreme grouped up.
You've got Radiance, right? I mean, this is the timing,
quote
unquote, that you're
first.
looking for. But yeah, you're right. I don't know how you go for the lasso here on Paparazzi. They're doing a good job at stacking up a lot of damage here. Oh my god. Okay, I mean that is a ton of magic damage. The Grove Bow doing a lot of work on the Viper right now, and they're just trying to keep him off the tower, but he's gonna do it in a huge arena. Big blink in from the Mars. Requiem gonna be able to just fear them all right into the walls, bumping their heads against the wall. They just get wrecked. Oh no.
I mean, you saw the opportunity there on the Mars, and it was that easy. Too many heroes grouped up too close, and they're punished for that one. Spectre did hold the Haunt for that one, so they could look to turn things around, but with only, they got 4 heroes now.
I mean, how do you lasso anyone? You've got Morphling with Lincolns, Paparazzi has an Aegis, DY sitting behind them with a Photic Shield, like...
And you have to walk at them forward as well. You don't have that Blink Dagger completed yet. We're 22 minutes in, and the Batrider doesn't have jump. You walk towards them. That is going to give DY plenty of time to get on top of whatever target you're running at and get the Aphotic Shield off as soon as you land that lasso. So there's no way that's happening. Do it to tier 3s just like that.
I just keep thinking about the Requiem. It's so I love like fear mechanics into Arena because they just are like bonk, bonk, bonk. Just keep walking back and forth into the wall. It's just so funny. It's like one of
stop hitting yourself.
Yeah, it's the good old stop hitting yourself meme for sure. Yeah. Seed here taking a lot of damage from Paparazzi, but does deal a good amount back with Viper Strike, and again, DY just gonna purge that bad boy off. Has 30 seconds left on the Aegis. The question of will they want to use it or just use it as regen at this point, and it's starting to look like it's just gonna be regen.
Yeah. Paparazzi, it's his time to get back. He doesn't want to get caught out at half HP as soon as his Aegis expires, and against a Nixus Acid, and it is a little bit scary. So yeah, he backs off as the Aegis expires, right? Come on, Paparazzi, please.
My guess is yeah. He's got Silver Edge as well, so this is a huge power spike. We just saw him use that on the Viper a moment ago, and the crit damage you get from this is wild. I'm curious if he goes like I have Scotty here at this point, or if he wants more damage, because I've seen some Shadow Fiends back for the Eye of Scotty at this point once you have like a couple big damage, or like some items plus the Silver Edge, but you can also just go Butterfly.
Well, I think the Eye of Scotty isn't too bad because he's taking a lot of damage as he tries to chip away at these towers. So a little bit more bulked for him to like stand forward and allow Baden to heal him up.
And it allows him to kite out the Spectre a little bit too. One of the things that you struggle with is these heroes that get on top of you, but if you can just attack from range with Scotty, it actually work out pretty well. Smoke up here from Extreme, looking to go in. They do have the Vision Spear off the mark, but they've managed to catch the Ogre Magi, and there it is. Just a couple of auto attacks is all that's necessary. So no buyback on the Ogre now, as Extreme push their lead to 4-14. Only 6 more kills. Bless RNG.
You
get
Let's
it?
hope so.
The funny number?
Yeah,
you get it?
The funny haha.
You know, there's one thing I love is Dota, but I also love memes, and oh my god. All right, Ash is gone. Didn't even get an opportunity to pop that BKB, just telekinesis into his spear. Great coordination there from Extreme. And from one lane of barracks to the next. Extreme here making a statement in this game 1. Paparazzi's waiting to go once again.
Have we seen Haunt use this game?
No, they have not used the Haunt. I mean, they never had an opportunity. Like every time someone's dead.
But they haven't pressed that button in 25 minutes.
Sure.
They haven't, have they?
No, definitely. There's not been a single Haunt.
Because I could have sworn they haven't, but it might be one of the moments where I'm misremembering something.
Definitely not. I have not seen it used once.
I guess they're worried about expending this, Extreme Gaming. If they use Haunt, then they're able to be, kind of reckless with their positioning on Extreme Gaming. So keeping that tool in their arsenal, but unfortunately,
I think part of it is that, but the other part of it is it means like Spectre can't be off on the side of the map anymore, right? If Spectre presses Haunt, she has to sit in the base with her team. Speaking of her team taking a fight here, they managed to take down Ash Seed. The next one that might be in trouble here, trying to chase after him. He's forced to BKB as Paparazzi is just doing way too much damage on this Shadow Fiend.
Yep.
And there's your Aya Scott. He picked up on Morphling instead.
Yeah. He's going to be very tanky now. Very easy time staying on top of the Viper, staying on top of the Bat Rider as well. The 50% slow, going through the BKB on him. And I think this is the beginning of the end. As soon as this next Roche comes up, Extreme Gaming, I think they're going to look to close out this game.
They don't even
want to wait.
Same combo, telekinesis into the spear. They get the Viper. They're just melting everyone. Shadow Fiend here with the Silver Edge just walks right up to the next tower. Tier 3 exposed. They're doing this without their Morphling. He's just not here yet. He's busy clearing out the wave. And once he gets to this tower, it's going to fall just that much faster. I mean, if there's any time you're going to use Haunt Neff, it's got to be soon, right? Paparazzi goes in, big Lincoln stun. They have the Morphling. Can they actually get any of these kills? They just pop the BKBs and no one's dying. No one's even taking damage on Extreme. Morphling turns himself into the next, just melts the other heroes. They just call it GG. I mean,
they don't have the AoE damage.
They got nothing. They just fell so far behind so fast. A 25,000 gold lead and a 24,000 XP lead.
Yeah, and only 27 minutes in the game, and unfortunately, we were 1 kill away from the funny haha number that you talked about, Ricky. And
they just don't like us to have nice things, dude. That's all it is. Yeah, they're just they just don't want me to be happy, you know.
Mm-hmm. It would look like a script if it went to 4 and 20, unfortunately, and we can't have that.
Yep.
Extreme Gaming looking like they're looking in much better form than they were just the other day. I mean, I was worried when they lost to YBB because they are an incredibly good team. Paparazzi played amazing in the series a couple nights ago, but even better today. Absolutely destroyed Ash in the mid lane. He could not come close. He had like 4 CS at like 5 minutes into the game, and he did manage to get that 6-minute haste and turn around, fight a solo kill. But outside of that, there was nothing he was doing. There's nothing any of these players inside of Shenzhen was doing. And I do think this Radiance on Spectre, or Spectre to begin with,
it just
I'm not
fell
gonna say
so
it was
hard
disrespectful, but yeah, I'm not gonna say it was disrespectful to Extreme Gaming to think that you can get away with going for something like that. But it is way too slow.
I
A
just
team
saw
like this is going to
Spectre
punish.
score. Do you see Spectre score?
Don't worry about it. It's your ideal carry score.
Literally 0, 0, and 0. That is. I mean, this is just one of those games where, like, all right, here's the 6-minute kill that they get on the Shadow Fiend, but at that point he was still like 1,100 gold behind, even after the kill or something, and it was 6 minutes into the game. Yeah, I mean, this is just such a sick play all around the map from Extreme constantly. They're always finding pickoffs, and they just outpaced Shenzhen.
Yeah, and it does make sense that you get outpaced like that if you try to go for the Radiance of the Spectre. That was kind of greedy. You're playing against a Morphling, so you think that they're going to take a little bit more time, but instead they went for that Lincoln Sphere and just played it as quick as possible. I'm not a big fan of the Lincoln Sphere.
I just love the bonking, dude. They're just walking into the wall. I think the Lincoln Sphere was essential, right? Like, he didn't need to contribute to this game, really. Like, they were so far ahead. Paparazzi was just popping off, and Morphling with the Lincoln Sphere first means that if it goes late, he's unkillable, right? Like, he just is guaranteed to crush this game. So they're actually gonna give sorry, I was a little bit shocked by the MVP there, but they give it to Ava.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. He was second of the net worth. He was doing just as good, if not better, than Paparazzi, who was stomping his lane. He stopped Spectre from finding anything. And, you know, I don't think Spectre had the option to go for something super... I think going for something super early would have been a little bit better, but the fact that you got stomped so hard in the lane, you know, the Mars setting up these big team fight ultimates towards the end of the game, allowing you to take down these towers, the super big fights,
Where just jumps behind the T2, arena's 3 people, and you're just like, that sucks. Like, what can you do? I mean, yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, Ava did play a pretty solid game. 4-19, 27 minutes, a pretty quick match here for Extreme. So we'll see what we do in game number 2. Something's got to change here for Shenzhen, and this is a solid team. Like, you know, Shenzhen has put on a great performance so far in the DPC. So hopefully they come back to the drawing board with something a little bit different here and are able to deal with Extreme a little bit better. But we're gonna go to a small break, everyone. So stay tuned here for game number 2 of Shenzhen versus Extreme on the CNDPC Division 2.
请天辉方禁用英雄。
Hey everybody, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that really short break as we're going into game number 2. We didn't lie. Shenzhen here versus Extreme Gaming. My name is R Cryptic, of course, here with the legend himself, Mr. Neff. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing great, and you didn't feel like the Mars the MVP in that last game, Eva, but unfortunately Shenzhen did because they don't respect ban the Shadow Fiend. Instead, they ban out the Mars. One of the stronger heroes at the moment. I feel like he's super solid in most offlane situations, but with that one taken out, Extreme Gaming are gonna have to do something a little bit different. I'm not sure if they run back the mid SF again, but you were just going absolutely crazy about it during the break.
Yeah, so we were talking about this. Like, the way Shadow Fiend works is like, he is historically one of the best pub stomp heroes in the game. Like, if there's like certain mid heroes where like you just think about them as like people who are really skilled in the mid lane, pick Shadow Fiend's always been one of them. And Paparazzi is an incredibly good mid laner, one of the best in the world, clearly, as we know. And I think he just remembers. He's like, I'm going back to my roots, man. I'm going to play Shadow Fiend. I'm just going to dominate my lane and carry from there. And you have to think about that, right? You have to consider it going into this game. And obviously not something, I don't think it's something you can first pick though, right? That would be, I don't know.
A bit too much.
I think that would be, you kind of grief yourself a little bit.
Yeah. It becomes much easier to, just pick stun heroes, run at the SF, get on top of them with a couple others. And you have a much easier time matching up against them in the mid lane. So we'll see what they do this time, but they open with 2 supports. At least I'm pretty sure these are 2 supports. Every so often.
Shaker,
every
dude?
so often. Yeah, you see mid lane Shaker, you see off lane Shaker, but it is a little bit... All right, he just hung up the call. I do like the anime profile pictures, by the way.
Unlucky. We lost him. Yeah, profile photo's great, though. Do you know what it's from, Neff? Mr. Master of Anime?
I do.
Oh, nice.
At least I'm pretty sure I do, but I don't want to guess wrong.
Yeah, you don't want to look dumb in front of
broadcast.
all these expert anime viewers.
Oh, yeah, on live broadcast. I didn't get a good look at it for long enough. It's already gone. Anyhow, let's talk heroes instead of anime, Ricky, as much as I would love to.
Totally fine. It's a Dota broadcast.
Same thing, really. If you've watched Dota 2's Dragon's Blood. Speaking of the upcoming hero, Dota 2's Dragon Blood, Lina, banned out by Shenzhen. They've also got rid of Anti-Mage, and they do end up taking out the SF for Spec Bandit. You were right, Ricky. Paparazzi, he's just too good.
I think you have to phase 2 ban this. It's not something they're going to phase 1 ever, but unless he's feeling really confident. But if you don't phase 2 ban this Shadow Fiend, you're in so much trouble because they're just going to pick it on, end of phase 2 and then just ban the last 2 counters for it, like they did in the last game, right? They just pick it end of phase 2, ban out like the TA, and and the Queen of Pain. Yeah, the TA Queen of Pain. Those are like the only other heroes outside of like Lina that really dominate him from the mid lane.
Yeah.
I guess kind of OD, but you can deal with it.
Yeah. Well, OD's been banned out.
Yeah.
So it's not something they would have had to worry about, which is surprising. I don't think he's like first ban material, but he's gotten a little bit more popular recently.
Give me
alongside
that
Meteor Hammer. Yeah.
I
Doom
love
picked up now.
It's a great
He's
pick
such a
into the
boring
Medusa.
hero.
It is a boring hero, but it is still fun to play. For some reason, Doom is just a fun hero for me. Maybe because the voice actor is so good. Maybe because I love, Doom Eternal. I don't know. And every time I play this hero, I just feel heavy metal coursing through my veins. It's one or the other.
And his signature ability, Doom, which is my ability, is that it stops you from playing the game. That's good stuff right there. Excellent hero design.
I love that.
That OD does it as well. I'm not a fan of that. Astral Imprisonment, you're not playing the game for 4 seconds.
So you're saying this when there's Bane in the game, one of the worst afflictors of this problem, removing other people from the game?
No. I suppose Bane is just disgusting. But yeah, they got Bane and Doom on the same team. They've got decent AoE from Earthshaker as well. What they're going to need is more burst damage on their side. Right now, they don't have a lot of that. So they're going to need a big right-click carry coming out inside the safe lane.
What do you think of the DP Tusk here? So Death Prophet we've seen ran sometimes in the off lane. Tusk sometimes in the off lane, but I think with the 4th position Weaver, are we seeing, is this like an off lane Tusk, a mid Death Prophet? Is this a 5 position Tusk? Like, what is going on here? There's a lot of flexibility, I guess, in these 3, right?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen position 3 Tusk before. We've seen position 3 Death Prophet. Medusa usually played in position 1. I imagine it's going to be paused for Tusk though, which, you know,
over position 5 Tusk. Because you have 4 Weaver. Like, Weaver has to go the oh my god, earn into Vessel. My brain just stopped. I like saw the Quap ban, and then my brain was like, nice, Queen of Pain, and then just it deleted everything else in my brain.
So you're thinking it's got to be a position 4 Weaver because he needs to pick up the Spirit Vessel against the Morphling?
I think this is an offlane Death Prophet. I honestly do. I think they're going to run offlane DP here. At least that's what they're anticipating on Extreme, because they respond with the Morphling, which is a decent matchup because you can play further back in the lane. But yeah, we'll see. With the Queen of Pain ban, though, it's hard to say, because Queen of Pain is considered historically one of the better picks into Death Prophet, but it's really weird because she technically wins the lane but has a negative win rate against Death Prophet, so it's kind of bizarre.
I'm not crazy about that one. You have difficult time getting on top of her and trade with the dagger. She's able to silence you out when you jump in. Like, as long as you count when she blinks in, you just, you know, wait X seconds, drop it just as it comes off a cooldown. A lot of the time, kill her.
Yeah, people just like playing the Queen of Pain in the lane because they think it's like a solid lane, but I honestly, I don't agree. I think Queen of Pain actually loses that lane majority of the time. They're going to ban the Bat Rider, so they are thinking it's an off-lane Death Prophet, and so at that point, you'd have to run the Tusk and run like a 5 Weaver here. That would be the only way to do it, because you do not want to run Death Prophet Weaver in the same lane.
No. Death Prophet and Weaver would actually, you've got decent rundown potential as long as you don't let the enemies play too close to their tower with that lane. And with the hijinks, Weaver can pull a lot of the time with, pulling back the creep wave, contesting the enemy support whenever they're trying to do anything. It can turn out decent, but I don't know how far behind you are. It's made things a little bit confusing for me, Ricky, but we got
Invoker, baby.
now.
Let's go. I'm excited. Okay, so I was right. It is going to definitely be the offlane Death Prophet. I think that's probably the best lane for this hero right now, honestly.
You don't know that for sure. I mean, we've seen support Invokers before, Ricky.
All right, Neff. That was only 4 position Invoker, and that was in the patch where his base like regen and like his level 1 version of his abilities were all still really good, and then they just nerfed them into the ground. So there's no chance you can play Invoker as a support anymore. This hero is so level dependent now. But I loved the support Invoker. I used to run my buddy and I always ran like a 3-4 off lane with a 4 position Invoker.
Whenever I think of a support Invoker, I think back to these games that I used to play with my brother, my stepbrother, where he wouldn't buy any wards. He wouldn't really, help you win the lane.
Would rush Midas.
Yeah, he'd rush Midas. I'm not sure exactly what he did, but whenever I asked for regular support things, he would just say, "I'm not that kind of support." I'm not sure what kind of support he was.
That is a classic NA mentality if I've ever heard. Storm Spirit. Into the Invoker. So this is a lane that's really rough for the Storm Spirit until you're level 6. Once you hit level 6, it's not that bad. But even then, as long as Ash goes Quash Wex, it's not that bad, because you can time the Cold Snap on the Tornado drop to guarantee the EMP, because there is that cast point on Ball Lightning. So I'm curious to see how they go. I actually like Shenzhen's draft. I do.
I like Shenzhen's draft as well. It is an incredible amount of overconfidence to pick up the Storm Spirit here. This Invoker is probably one of the better lane counters to the Storm Spirit, because Storm Spirit is a little bit better once he hits level 6, but you're so good at slowing down the Storm Spirit's farming whenever you come into the lane. The fact that you don't have an escape until you hit level 6, and a lot of times he's even going to be able to interrupt your escape if you try to get away. If he just drops Tornado, EMP, Cold Snap, you ruin his farming ability. you take his kill potential and ability to do things over the map just by completely draining out his mana. And because you're draining such a large mana pool as well, you get yours back like 100%.
Yeah. Once you have level 4 on the Invoker here, this lane is really easy. You do struggle the first the first wave technically, because he's just going to go Lightning Remnant and just kill the whole lane and push it under your tower, and he has about 7 to 8 more damage than you, I think, at the beginning of the game. So it is kind of rough, but yeah, double null tally into what I would guess would be like earned back for Midas. I think this is going to be a pretty sick Invoker game.
Yeah, and he's going to go for the Wex. He's invoked up EMP to start the game out. So yeah, you can just drop that on the Storm Spirit as soon as he like walks into the lane, burn 100 of his mana to start the game off, and then just throw it down off a cooldown. He doesn't have the movement speed in order to get away from it. 285 on this hero. So you can do all right for yourself in the mid lane. If you like win the first wave super hard, you can also like win the second lane. The second wave, because you don't have level 2 yet on the Evoke when you've got 2 on the Storm Spirit. But then like immediately after that, it will very heavily go the way of Ashe. Like you have to body this mid lane, this first wave super hard on Paparazzi. So that is like some huge, I would like to say overconfidence. I think that he can win that hard in order to just pick this into that. But power to him. It's not like you're jumping the backline too much either. Like eventually you'll be able to get on top of the Evoker and stuff, but he doesn't mind going out of his way for a BKB. I'm focusing too much on Paparazzi. We need to talk about some of these other guys. I mean, if it was the MVP in the previous game, and Shenzhen, they've had a solid tournament performance so far. They even ended up taking a series off of Sparking Arrow Gaming.
Yeah, that was huge.
Yeah.
So we'll see how Seed does on this offlane Death Prophet. I think this hero has done pretty well from the offlane, specifically Aunid for YBB ran this a lot, and they started pretty much respect banning it every single game phase 1 against them. It's just Death Prophet and Razor bans. So we'll see what Seed can do. It's not the easiest lane into the Morphling, but I think it'll still be pretty solid. Top lane, Medusa, Weaver going up against Earthshaker and Doom. Do you have enough to zone out the Doom here?
I mean, it's not super difficult. The hero doesn't have as much HP regen as he used to. The issue is that he's going to find farm, like, regardless of what happens with his Devour.
And Tank doing a really good job with the creep waves right now. I mean, he fissure blocked up the first one. He got the double block here on the small and hard camp. Obviously, the sentry blocking the hard camp, but just gonna farm himself up behind the tower, try and deny up what he can.
Oh, damn. Okay, yeah, nice. Almost. Come on, pull it back.
Wait,
He's
what?
trying to get the range creep deny. Tank.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Yeah, one of the creeps re-aggroed back onto the melees, though.
Yeah, I mean, this is
very nice.
Very well played here by Tank, of course.
So they're denying this Medusa the maximum amount of farm. Doom's managed to...
I'm getting a little bit of packet loss in game all of a sudden.
Are you? Is it fixed?
Yeah. Seems it was just a little bit of a stutter.
Okay.
Yeah, I might have like a couple, but we'll see. Focusing on mid lane though, Ashe versus Paparazzi. So last game, obviously Paparazzi popped off. Like, it was just a ridiculous game for his Shadow Fiend, and Ashe this time on the Invoker will have a little bit of a better time. Obviously right now Paparazzi does have a decent amount of CS, which is expected the first few waves, but this starts to tip a lot more heavily for the Invoker. The more points in Wex. Once he has that second point, this mana burn is going to be huge.
Yeah. And Paparazzi realizes this is coming. He's just trying to go through as much mana as possible here. Pushing the Laven as quickly as he can before he's got EMP off a cooldown. Move into the creep camp, clear this out as well. And when he comes back to the lane, Ashe isn't going to be able to EMP anything away from him. Actually,
he's going to go stack and go bounty rune.
Yeah. He's not going to come into this next wave at all. I mean, it's pushed really far in. So, makes sense.
Yeah, the tower will clear, and he's going to get maybe one creep deny, so totally fine.
How many games of mid do you have to play to be this good with, like, where you're putting the lane and when you can walk away and everything like that? This guy's insane.
I like, that's the thing, like, that separates, like, I I mean, every Dota player, I would guess, but like specifically mid laners. Like you watch mid laners, and like I spend a lot of time like watching Quinn because he's, you know, just a god tier mid lane, and the way he manipulates creep waves and the way he just like secures mid out of even in losing matchups, you're just like, oh, cool. Like,
well, this is fun.
This guy thought about this like before the game started and like planned this. It's ridiculous.
All right, top lane. I wanted to go back to that one. They were diving the Medusa onto the tower here. She does have a point of the mana shield, so if she wanted to pop this, it'd be much more difficult to bring her down underneath the tower. But Doom is doing fairly well here. Medusa only sitting at 12-3 at the moment.
Not great start for the Medusa in that lane.
Gosh. Didn't manage to pull him into that second remnant there, but...
And goodbye, mana.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Yeah. He's done reasonably well here. I mean, just looking at... all right, top lane.
They're going for the dive. Oh, they are. Oh, what a fissure block. Hara manages to... Yeah, okay. Well, just get dunked on, I guess, by Shaker. It's that easy.
Mm-hmm.
I did not expect that dunk to do that much.
Yeah, he's only got 1 point in it, but, you know, huge amount of damage just from that. And he was burning him down with 2 points in the Scorched Earth on this Doom as well. So, unfortunately, Medusa not able to get away from that one. Only 1 point in that mana shield. Doesn't have a ton of armor at this point either.
This is the thing that's kind of weird about the Weaver 5. Like, Weaver is a hero that wants to apply pressure to the other support, and he does a lot better in the long lane as a result, because you can just kind of like chase the support around. But in the safe lane, it's not nearly as strong. Like, you're just kind of get like Doom just can do whatever he wants, and he manages to find the ice armor, which was a massive savior for him. So this is sick.
Dive. He's about to send those phase boots as well.
Nightmare onto the Tusk. Fissure to come through. The chain stuns are there. Man, I'm getting a little bit of packet loss again, but we'll see if they can actually get on out. Waveform on forward. Drink falling low. Needs one more attack. Tank will find it. DY falls in the process.
1-for-1 exchange happens then. They lose the Bane. They lose the Tusk, but this Morphling to be sitting pretty low at this point. He's got to sit all the way back. Go back to full agility, pop his wand, then come back into lane again. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Storm has hit this level 6 now. All right, they're gonna try to go for a kill on the Storm, but there's no way they find this.
Actually, Hara's chasing down Tank in the jungle here. Tank pretty fast though, has the boots, and Sakuchi too long of a cooldown, so he's gonna be fine.
Yeah, it's not 275 when it's not active at the moment either. Maybe if he was level 7, he'd be able to find that kill. You ended up being absolutely correct, Ricky. This Doom was too much for them to deal with. The Weaver playing position 5, just not enough to zone the Doom out of lane. He's great at trading with these heroes away from the creep waves, but if you try to harass Doom, like sitting underneath the creep wave, you can right-click him down, the creeps aggro onto you. You end up taking a lot of damage from this, so he's been forced to go elsewhere.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It feels like Weaver's a lot better in the long lane, it feels like, as opposed to... your safe lane. He just doesn't play as well. And as a result, Medusa forced out into the jungle. They do have a ward that's scouting all of this as Tank gonna rotate on over, trying to harass her down a little bit, and Storm Spirit going for the long zip across town, trying to get on top of this Medusa, but Paparazzi basically out of mana. There's gonna be a tornado. Ash here trying to turn this bad boy around. They take down the Earthshaker, and Paparazzi a little bit too confident there, as Ash will get himself a double kill, a couple of earn charges to boot.
Yeah, dove way too far in that jungle, and unfortunately they had a ward on dire side, so all of that coming far in advance, so they were able to turn that one around quickly. Storm Spirit, his game has slowed down quite a bit at this point, and it was supposed to get easier for him post-laning phase, but a couple of these mistakes have slowed his game down.
They're looking for the Doom top, if they can get on top of him, but he's out of mana. Tag team, can it slow him down enough for speed to get in range? 75 mana, still short on that. He's not gonna be able to get in place, and Paparazzi comes in, trying to take down Speedy, pops the Exorcism, gonna turn around with the Silence, try and block him off. Storm Spirit taking a good chunk of damage, but turns around on Speed, gets the kill anyway.
Very nice.
I think he thought Ash was closer, but really sick kill there.
Yeah, Ash just not able to assist at that point. Paparazzi seizing that opportunity. Had to pull the Death Prophet off in order to break that Spirit Siphon too in order for Doom to get away. But ended up doing the trick there. Wasn't able to turn that one back around. And 3-second silence just isn't going to do it against the Storm. Earthshaker.
Ooh, nice nightmare from DY. Give him a little bit of time, but still going to take out here, I imagine, right? Yeah, earn a lot. Weaver falls to Paparazzi, so a support trade. But Paparazzi's doing well for himself.
Yeah, these are big. I mean, you lose a lane on Storm. One of the best things you can do is get the recovery kills. And this is like putting the pressure on the enemies always feels better than moving into the jungle to get recovery, because that, of course, means you're making space for your safe laner. This Morphling's been allowed to catch up through the kills that the Storm Spirit is finding.
Yeah.
And now you have, 3 of the 4 heroes at the top of net worth now on the side of Extreme Gaming. 2K net worth advantage. I'm afraid we're going to see a repeat of the last game.
We'll see.
Thankfully, you're doing much better this game on Ashe, but you did get that... God, they picked the Storm Spirit into the Invoker. I was going to say you have ultimate last pick, but that wasn't the case here.
Yeah, the thing is, like, the Doom will take a little bit longer to come online than, say, the Mars did, right? Like, Mars just went, like, Hood of Defiance into Blink. Doom's go... You always go Midas, right? This phase boots Midas. You go these, like, 3 points into Devour, so... He kind of spends a little bit more of his money early on in going Greed, but after that is when you get scary. So, like, if Storm Spirit is still doing well, if the Morphling is still doing well at that point, then I think that's the point for when Shenzhen has to be really worried.
I mean, you say that he's going Greed. He's got the Gloves of Haste. He has the money for a Hand of Midas right now, but he hasn't gotten it. He's wasting a bunch of time just sitting here.
Yeah, I wonder if he's, like, debating on just rushing the BKB or something.
Well, there were no creeps nearby.
Ashe gonna find Paparazzi in the river rather. Spends his mana to get away. Did get the DD rune. What a fissure block by Tank there.
Yeah. Right place, right time. Paparazzi gets to escape death with that one. And another gank wasted. This is gonna cause Invoker to start to fall off if he's not fighting these kills, because he didn't go for the Hand of Midas this game. I do prefer what they how they're playing this this time around. I think going the Hand of Midas against Extreme Gaming would be a little bit too greedy. You want to try to play this faster, especially given the supports that you have on your side.
Exorcism coming bottom. Definitely telegraphed as they sought under a ward, so they will TP mid. Instead cancels it. Now Medusa trapped. She doesn't have a point in her ult. Right into the feed scare from DY. No one can save her. She just dies so fast. And now Hara getting chased down. Gonna go down underneath his tier 2 as Extreme Gaming claim 2 big kills, and now potentially the mid tower. They're gonna rotate over here on the remaining heroes of Shenzhen, but it might be too late.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Death Prophet thought about TPing in. It was already too late to save this Medusa by the time her TP would have came out. And
I think they made a call to not fight, but they didn't get out. It was a thing. I think they were just like no trade, and then they just happened to still catch the Deucer or something, because he definitely canceled that TP pretty fast.
Yeah, and they thought, okay, this tower is already sacked. The Medusa's dead. At the very least, we need to trade for this bottom tier 1 tower and make it so we can get some farm into the jungle with this Medusa. So this is going to be Kaikyo's area of the map. Dire Triangle, Radiant Squad jungle, but they actually have a ward that'll scout out when you move across the river here on the Medusa. If she moves through it. It's actually 2 wards that normally defensive, but they can play aggressive on the Medusa with him.
Okay, Haste Rune top. Yeah, this is the first time I've been having some of these packet loss issues. It's pretty small, but randomly pops up.
Well, take a look at that one after this game. I think some of the other broadcasters were having issues with that one as well.
Smoke up here from Shenzhen. Want to get active. They actually don't have the Spirit Vessel done, but they... Oh, just in time for DY to back up, and Ashe will make it up onto the high ground. Pops the Pig Pole Tornado off the mark, but the rest of the spells can't really dodge those, so they will get that easy pick off there.
4-man rotation. They do manage to take out 1 hero, but the position 5. I mean... I think you're happy about that if you're on the side of Extreme Gaming. The tower still standing strong as well. They've got Earthshaker sitting behind, who's got his freshly completed Blink Dagger. If they try to make a movement onto the tier 1 mid, he's gonna be able to turn this around on them so quickly.
Dude, I just looked at Hara's items. He's just sitting on like 900 gold and has a circlet, a circlet and a wand.
what items.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What can you do? You know, you're just the selfless position 5 Weaver. What a nice
Eventually,
guy.
he will get time lapse.
Oh my
So
god, you're
level
right.
5
He's
right
still
now?
level 5.
Yeah. He's not contributing too much. You were concerned about this, weren't you?
That's the thing. I just position 5 Weaver is a lot weaker than position 4 Weaver. He doesn't get like the free lane a lot of the times, right? Like a lot of times your 4 position goes and soaks a lane somewhere. But that just wasn't the case this game.
God, he moves around. Like, he's quick when he's got Sakuchi, but it's still got an 8-second cooldown because he's level 5.
See,
He doesn't
top
have
lane.
boots.
Oh, Tumbler Toy gives him the distance. All right.
Very nice.
Sick usage there from Seed.
The man tumbles.
He's
And,
not toying around this game, you could say. Mid lane, Drink. We're just going to gloss right over that one. Big tornado to zone them off.
They're forced to back off for a moment there. They I'm starting to play a little bit more aggressive here on the side of Extreme. You want to be able to, I don't know, limit. Eventually, you're going to want to try to invade this triangle, but it is difficult fighting into them when they hold the high ground here. Like, Tornado EMP comes out off onto you. You're not able to get off any of your spells on the Earthshaker, then I think you lose the team fight. So they're still very capable of, misplaying and losing their footing in this game.
I mean, despite Shenzhen looking so strong to start out this game, like, I just looked at net worth. It's a 6,000 advantage for Extreme. Like, I just kind of forgot that there's just a Doom and a Morphling just farming really fast.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they control so much more of the map right now. Medusa is reduced to farming the triangle and like the small and hard camp on the opposite side of the map. Everything else, like, they're playing way too far forward on Extreme Gaming, so she can keep up, but they're not going to keep up with his Doom, his Hand of Midas. They're not going to keep up with the Morphling, who's just going crazy. No need to go for the Lincoln Sphere this game. He's just gone straight into Yasha after his Mask of Death and is sitting almost full agility.
That's really all he needs, right? He just needs to be able to get out of the silence from the Death Prophet or like the Spirit Vessel that's coming out from the Invoker inevitably. So I think he actually has it done now. Yeah, we did see that. So Invoker does have that Spirit Vessel. He is going back for the Midas now, which is typically what you see.
I mean, here's the issue with that. He's got the Spirit Vessel completed, but Morphling's now 500 gold away from finishing off this Manta style, which he's going to use to dispel the Spirit Vessel at that point.
Yes, that is. Yep.
Yeah, so he's not going to have the opportunity to actually use it, I don't believe.
I mean, he'll still be able to use it on, say, like Tank or Ava, because Ava still doesn't have the BKB yet. Bane is surprised. What is Bane's strength gain? 2.5. Oh, he's just 2.5 in all. I forgot about that.
You didn't know. It's like the funny haha with Bane.
I know. I forgot. I maybe have like 20 games on Bane in my entire life.
Well, he is, a snoozer.
Yeah. He's more of a nightmare than a snoozer, but
that's true. Nice one, man. Hara.
Well, speaking of nightmares, walking into Extreme Gaming, not a very good time. Medusa will be able to get rid of that Enfeeble, but a sick fissure block. Seed has no way into the fight. Drink, though, able to pop the Bane. Paparazzi out of mana. Shards, well placed, holding Paparazzi down and unable to make it over. He's going to just crumble. 3 for 1 for Shenzhen, and might be for Ava. No, he's able to make it out in time.
This Storm Spirit ended up losing all of his mana, going too far forward. I thought that was such an amazing start to the team fight. That Fissure block on a Seed was amazing, and they were primed to go, but too separated there. The Earthshaker wasn't able to get his Echo Slam off, and everything fell apart. Morphling not part of that team fight, so they weren't doing a ton of damage once the Storm was completely out of mana. Doom just opted to escape. It looked so good to start, man. It looked so good.
Yeah, I mean, it did. Playing around Exorcism, not great. And then they're like, oh, hey, Exorcism is blocked off. But they very much underestimated, I guess, Storm's mana pool, or maybe he was starting the fight without like full mana.
He just, got hit with that EMP, lost like 400 mana off of that one. And because of that, he wasn't able to stay on top of his targets, ended up getting turned around, melted. And without mana on Storm Spirit, you're just like a ranged creep. Is what happened there. I was watching the backside of Kaikyo chasing down the Spirits. I don't see exactly how that happened. Just death recaps, but
we're looking here for Paparazzi. There's the tornado. Oh, the Echo from Tank, though. Turning this one around. Orchid's going to come back out on to this Invoker. The question is, can they actually finish him off? They've got the dust. And that is what you call a jabate.
Yeah. I think you're going to get a nice juicy storm kill, but all you get is an echo salad.
I love you. Oh, yeah. That is pretty much what you get, yeah.
It's one of the better debates I've seen here at the DPC so far, but yeah, it looked like such an awesome opportunity for them there. Storm Spirit still not with his BKB, but with them sitting behind him, he turned that one around on them pretty quickly there. So nice setup there by Tank, enabling them. And Tank has been on point. The saves on the Storm Spirit a couple of times the mid lane. He's the one who cut off Death Prophet in the fight before that one, and then the big turnaround right there with Paparazzi. So I think there'll be a lot more aware of him in these next couple of team fights, given all he's provided for his team. So that's going to be Weaver's job, I imagine, is staying on top of Tank here. It's going to be difficult, though, is, again, he does... Does he have an urn now? No, he does not have an urn.
No, you can't. It's got on. You have the Vessel on Invoker, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's usually one of your big tools for stopping Earthshake. You just drop the urn charge off on him and disables his Blink Dagger for like 10 seconds. He's not able to get into the fight so easily. But this Weaver, not going to be able to do that. And Invoker, he's never going to be far forward enough to find this Earthshaker.
Yeah. Paparazzi going back for the Kaya. Pretty much standard stuff. I would have guessed this game, it's just Kaya Sanj if he wants. I don't think he wants Bloodstone necessarily. Top lane, they find Seed. The long zip into the Orchid. The question is, can these Spirit Siphons keep him alive? Not today. DY. That's what we call a zoning support play there. Just walking in, scouting the rest of these heroes. However, Doom, now he's going to be fine. Spirit Vessel, a lot of damage, but he does have the BKB to fall back on. And a juicy regen rune there is going to get scouted. And Morphling is going to say mine. Never mind.
Yeah, that one was close. They needed to pump out a lot of damage on the Death Prophet there. She almost took 4,000 damage before she went down, even though she's only got like a 2,200 health pool. Just Spirit Siphoning 2 strength heroes. They came in on top of her, but no, they did manage to just barely bring her down. That fight would have turned out turned out a lot worse if Bane hadn't placed himself super far forward and blocked the enemies off. They had to deal with him before they could get in there and help the Death Prophet, unfortunately. So nice play there by DY.
This is definitely when you queue up the Shivas on Doom, right? You have that AoE heal reduction aura, which is incredibly important, but also the catch that it offers.
Oh, yeah.
I think like Shivas has got to be his next item here. They are going, they find the Medusa with an echo from Tank. The Doom comes out, even a Fiend's Grip. Okay, guys, calm down. It's a little much. Now, need to disengage here before they all die to this Seed Death Prophet. Try to chase down Ava, but it's going to be the Morphling that falls instead. An even bigger kill. End up trading 1-for-1 Tank with a nice fissure to block them off.
Morphling trying to stick around to save the Doom there. I think Waveform not off a cooldown. Switch to full... tried to switch as much as they could over to strength and get the stun off of the Death Prophet, stop him running down the Doom, but does end up melting because of that one. They find a big kill there, 476 gold onto that morph, and this gives Medusa, eventually more time to catch up when she does get back up again. Getting close to that Eye of Scotty, though.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen what Medusas can do in the late game in recent matches, right? Like, even up against the Doom, we've seen her just stand her ground and completely turn this. But you also have a Death Prophet to fall back on in these fights, which is a big deal. Like, the amount of damage Death Prophet does when that Exorcism is active cannot really be understated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and at this point, the damage on the Storm Spirit, it is beginning to fall off. He's trying to solve that problem. He's going for... he opted to go away from his BKB that he had queued up. And instead going for the Kaya Sanj in order to scale as best he can. Because I don't think this Morphling to be able to pump out enough damage to bring down like the Medusa, the Death Prophet, the Invoker fast enough in these fights. So Paparazzi, he's got his work cut out for him here. I'm optimistic for Shenzhen right now. I think once you get the Eye of Scotty on the Medusa, these fights do become a little bit easier, but it could also fall apart pretty quickly.
Well, they're going to go into Roche on Extreme, and this is a very important pickup. I mean, if the Morphling has this... Actually, you probably just give it to Storm, huh? You probably just give it to Paparazzi. Sunstrike will scout them, so they do know that this is occurring. The question is, can Shenzhen actually contest this ward up on the high ground? It looks like the rest of Extreme is going to walk out of the pit here. Tank obviously does not want to be in sight of Shenzhen, but they have no ward vision. They don't see this happening at all, and They're just going to give it up. First Roshan going the way of Extreme.
There it is. Picking out towards the end. But Paparazzi, he's going to get to play very aggressive with this one. And yeah, this will make up for the fact that he doesn't have that BKB. If they catch him out, they have to commit a lot of spells. They're usually, well, Morphling's going to be running a train on them while they deal with the Storm Spirit. And he does get to go for this Kai Assange still. Speaking of Morph, he's hit level 16, gets his talent. His Eye of Scotty's almost completed, but Medusa's done. She's going back for
Dragonlance, yeah. I think you need it. You do need it this game. You need to be able to keep range advantage up on the Morphling as well as the Shadow, the Storm Spirit.
Well, the extra stats it gives you is just good.
Yeah.
On top of that, it's like, you know, the item on almost every ranged carry. It's got he almost dead now on the Morph.
Looks like they're grouping to head bottom here. I don't know if they know Ava is behind the tower, but Ashe will see him now. It's hard to go for this. He's got the BKB. Doom is not the hero you really want to try and initiate on unless you have that crowd control. And
Death Prophet's got Blink, though.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you saw that. She bought the Blink instead of going for the BKB.
Yeah, she could get on top of him and bring him down, you know, reasonably quickly, but the plate mail that he just got does make it slightly harder.
Yeah, so he is going for the Shivas. Just waiting on the Mystic Staff now. Recipe sitting on his courier at the secret shop. Did they just smoke under that ward? I can't tell. Oh, Hara just instantly popped it. Never mind. So, wow. What a quick play there by the Weaver. Gets the time lapse off. Still stuck in the trees. They will find him playing a cheeky game there, but he pops the smoke. I mean, that was what you wanted to do on this 5-position Weaver.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's got money in the bank. Philosopher's Stone while he's dead as well. Scaring out the whole enemy team. You know, during their Aegis timing. Not bad. They did hit a number of their timings just before they found that Weaver as well. So if they were checking, they could have found a lot of this. The Eye of Scotty on the Morphling, the Kai Assange on the Storm Spirit, and Force Staff recently finished on the Earthshaker. Doom's getting close to his Shiva's Guard as well.
Yeah, he's going to get it off this camp here. And this is where the Doom is going to be a lot stronger against this Death Prophet. I mean, I'm sure he's going to buy it soon, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's 2,800. I forgot they increased it.
Yeah, they're all 2,800 now.
Yeah.
All this plus 25
Didn't a
stat
Reaver used to be 3,200 at one point or something?
Yeah.
A long time ago? That was so weird.
Yeah. Those were the days.
Sag, strength boy noises.
There.
Bottom lane tier 2 is going to go down to seed. They'll take the outpost. The question is, do they want to... Oh, I was going to say, do they want to defend top? But Morphling's already killed the tower. So, that answers that one.
Yeah, very no. But not going to fight into the Morphling working on his BKB now. Storm Turret working on his. I think it just comes down to whose BKBs come out faster. And it looks like it's probably going to be Extreme Gaming. You're very far off still on this Death Prophet. You need another, what? God, I went to the NA School of Maths. Like 1,800 gold to get that one finished.
And yeah, Morphling's just going to make quick work of these towers. He's got his whole team sitting behind him. It is not an easy target to get on top of. Like we said, they have the Aegis here on Storm, and he also happens to have an Arcane rune as well as a bottled DD rune. So this is like best case scenario as a Storm Spirit. You're having a great time right now.
Yeah, it is a good thing Ashe is in Ghost Walk right now. The Storm Spirit tries to do something crazy. He's at the very least going to have invisibility. But he's going to be fine. He's actually got a Sheep Stick queued up. I like this a lot. When you don't have the BKB or Lincoln Sphere done on Morphling or Storm Spirit, you could potentially just like blow one of these heroes up when they go too far forward and punish them.
He kind of guessed here on DY and gets the dust out onto the Invoker, but in comes Doom. He gets it right onto the Medusa, but he's stuck inside of an Exorcism. Weaver on the backside jumps here by Paparazzi. He's going to go down, but your Doom falls first. Medusa standing her ground, and Paparazzi, you are out of mana. That's going to be his Aegis. Morphling trying to stand his ground, but not doing a great job. But the Echo from Tanks on the backside grabs this Medusa once again. But Seed with this Exorcism just chewing through these heroes. Storm will be able to take down Ashe on this Invoker, but your Morphling is in trouble. You need to help him. The Nightmare from DY looks like it might be enough, but Kaikyo, like you said, that's the big kill. Can you actually take her down? They will disengage. The buyback from Ashe is too much, and Tank catches a tornado just off the mark, though, as Paparazzi will be able to escape. A solid fight from both teams, but you don't get the Medusa. I mean, that's got to be a great win for Shenzhen, right?
Absolutely. They were forced to buy back on the Invoker. The only reason they were able to win that fight is because that tier 1 down there is still standing. He was able to get back into their no time at all. But the Doom coming out of the Medusa at the start of the team fight, like, that is the ideal target.
He's going for the buyback on the Invoker. Does he actually get it, though? The Soul Burn. One more auto attack. He's dead. But Storm Spirit running low on mana. Pops the Soul Ring. Is not out. And now Morphling has a Manta, has a waveform into Feared, however, from this Death Prophet. That talent, or that shard, is very strong.
Yeah, Fear is incredibly broken because it also silences you. So it messes up things like a Bat and Ultimate as well. You can't pop those when you hit by the Fear. So Morphling, there was no getting out of that. He couldn't. Well, it like disables you and silences you, so he couldn't pop his Manta style there, even though it was like.
Yeah, it's a stun silence, right?
Yeah.
Similar to like how Black Hole works. Like Black Hole is not just a stun, it is also a silence.
Yeah. But it doesn't disable passives.
Yeah.
A bunch of different mechanics for things that disable you, but
known as mechanics in the industry, right?
Of course. You die back there under the Invoker, though. Storm Spirit went a little bit too far forward, so they got that punish off. But this Medusa is starting to get pretty scary. I wanted to talk about the fact that the Doom jumped on her and dropped the Doom onto the Medusa in that last fight, and I think you're pretty happy about that if you're Medusa. Like, you're not going to get your Stone Gaze off, sure, but you're better off dooming literally any other target. She just stands her ground and auto attacks you back, and she is your frontliner in this game. She's gone for tanky items with the Manta style and the Eye of Scotty as well, so it's not really like you're stopping her from doing anything. Like, you delayed the Stone Gaze, sure, but the fact that you didn't blow her up in the duration of that Doom means she got it off afterwards.
That's the big issue, I think, right? Like, if you can Doom off the Medusa and just collapse on her with like the Morphling, the Storm Spirit, you know, even the Shaker, and just blow that hero up, I think you're in a really good spot. But the problem is they just tried fighting her, you know, and you're just dying to this Exorcism plus the Medusa. Like, you didn't actually disable any of these heroes from being able to do damage.
Yeah, all of them got their abilities off regardless of you throwing out that Doom in that team fight, so it was kind of moot. And he's going for Refresher Orb next. I mean, if you can get on top of the Invoker with like BKB Refresher and hit like maybe the Death Prophet as well, great. But I think your better option is to go for Heaven's Halberd against the Medusa, because she is dealing a lot of damage in these fights now that she is a Stateless.
I would really like to see the Refresher. I think he does need to Doom up the Death Prophet. I think it's such an important hero in these fights that they're focusing the Medusa because you have to. You cannot let her just like attack freely and just like run at people with Stone Gaze and stuff. But the Death Prophet also is in the same boat. Like, you can't just let her run around with Exorcism and ignore her. Like, that is not a winning strategy.
No. But I did mention this at the start of the game. They need like burst damage, and Morphling does provide that. Storm Spirit, he was kind of forced to pick up the slack here by going this Kaya Sanj instead of a BKB pretty early, and he has taken like it'd take a death for it just a moment ago because he couldn't go for that BKB, but he's got it now. And he's got the best of both worlds.
Yep, absolutely.
Like my girl Miley.
Who? Paparazzi. Gonna be fine. Just leaves. See ya. Drank almost catches him with a Walrus Punch there. That was a nice play by him, but
nice try. Yeah,
he's
BKB
also gonna find a DD rune and an Arcane rune still.
Yeah, he's gonna hold on to the Arcane for now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's the optimal rune on the Storm Spirit.
Eyes on Seed, bottom lane, tank with the initiation, and the burst damage is there. They get the Death Prophet, a really sick play from this Earthshaker, trying to TP out. Morphling, you can't do it against a Stone Gaze. He's fully strength morphed. Earthshaker trapped inside the shards. Tusk trying to take him down. He gets the blink. No way. Tank?
He can't escape from this. They know that he's got no TP now.
Yeah, true. He gets the smoke. Oh, force
He
that.
dodges the courier for a moment because of it.
They got vision. He's got one more blink up onto the high ground. Cue the music, Neff. He fissures the free walking path into the low ground. Tank is out.
An illegal move. That wasn't even on the Fisher, but he did it. This man's a genius.
All right.
Tank. The great escape. Now they're going to turn it around.
They get the Doom on the Medusa, but the Lotus. All right, well done. They managed to get a kill there onto the Weaver. You got no Death Prophet for this fight. This is honestly as good as it gets. The Fiend's Grip out onto the Tusk. They disengage with 2 extra pickoffs and will go home.
Scary there for a moment. That was an incredibly quick Lotus Orb. I think that one came. Yeah, that one came out from the Weaver there. Nice play there by him, but they all escape. So they got the Weaver. They get out on the Earthshaker tank. Definitely my MVP for this game. The man could do it all.
Dude, I just yeah, you're making me giggle, man. It's an illegal play. You can't keep getting away with this, man. I don't know. It's always to investigate for sure. That is some wild stuff right there. Roshan number 2. Extreme going in for it. The Shard, very important here. If they manage to pick it up, I really like Doom Shard, to be honest, but I'm curious who they give it to.
I mean, they already have one on Earthshaker here, as we saw in that last team fight. All right, they try to scout, and they are going to be able to delay this with a tornado.
Well done. Tornado comes through. EMP on the mark. Z just jumps in with the Exo. You're kind of alone here, bud. You got to be careful. You got no help, and he's just dead. The Walrus Punch is enough. The Aegis on the ground. They're just cleaning them up one by one. Paparazzi the backside takes down the Weaver. 3 heroes dead. Morphling trying to hobble away the Fissures. Controlling up the Medusa. There's going to be the Doom. Can they actually kill her? The Alacrity from this Invoker is a lot of damage to deal with. The Snowball save from the Tusk. Can they actually get out? Storm Spirit, but the Echo from Tank holds him down. Fishing up the backside. He's going to go down on this Invoker. And now Kaikyo out of mana. Surrounded by the heroes of Extreme. 5 of them go down at the end of the day. An incredible fight from Extreme in the worst time in the world to have packet loss.
Let me give you a rundown of that team fight. The Tornado came out and Death Prophet threw the silence, but unfortunately it didn't land onto the Morphling inside the pit. I mean, he could have BKB'd that one off, but because the Tornado came out at the same time, the silence would have landed. And that one is due to the fact that silence doesn't work like it used to. It's got to travel now, so he threw it off before the Tornado came out, but while he was in the air and vulnerable, it would have hit the Morphling. But he could hold his BKB for a little bit longer there. It managed to grab the Aegis because it wasn't disabled inside the pit because of that, and was, able to man up on these heroes. No one to commit onto the Morphling when he had that Aegis, so quick reactions there by XG, and slightly off the mark with that Tornado on Invoker. I don't think it necessarily cost him that team fight, but it definitely played a part. CD just, got blown up way too fast because that Morphling was silenced. Or sorry, wasn't silenced.
Yeah, absolutely. But 1 lane of barracks down, now focusing on the second. You just push so fast with the Morphling. Tornado, EMP should connect here. Okay, actually, no, just slightly missed time, but they get the Hex and the Aegis as well.
Well, he's just going to be back up, full HP and mana.
So in that Roche fight, did the Morphling turn him, like, how did he use his ultimate, or how did they kill the Death Prophet so fast? Was it just auto attacks? Is that really all it was?
Yeah, beat him down. This Morphling damage is no joke. And DP, she doesn't have any armor items at this point. I mean, you're doing, what, like 400 damage in auto attack right now with this Morphling, and you've got 9 armor on the Death Prophet.
It's a lot of damage. Ava gonna pop the smoke on the backside, just drops the Doom onto the Weaver. See you later, buddy. The question is, can Doom get out of this? Force Staff 1, Force Staff 2, Nightmare. He's got a BKB, he's gonna force it.
And they've just back off.
All right.
Looks like they're gonna get that kill off on the Weaver and get out. No need to pop that refresher on the Doom. Looked a little bit dicey there for a moment, but Doom's got a lot of hate for the Weaver after he made him doom himself earlier.
Yeah. I mean, that's the second buyback now in those 2 fights. Both supports now are on buyback cooldown. So picking off either of them is a really big deal for Extreme Gaming. And that might be the idea behind it, right? They just want to, potentially take the next fight, take down the Weaver, and no Lotus Orb, Yeah.
And this Lotus Orb is a pretty big issue. I mean, it's going to stop the majority of Bane's kit coming out. They can reflect the Doom, Storm Spirit as well, break off that Bloodthorn. So when you look at it that way, even though he's got like no net worth to his name, doesn't even have shoes. He's got a circlet into Lotus Orb. still important to take him out of these team fights. And these Dooms coming out of the Medusa haven't really mattered either, right?
Yeah.
She just stands her ground. Even like they drop a Lacry on her, even still in these fights, just auto attacks you down. They've slowed things down a little bit. I think both teams just working on finding these tier 4 neutral items. If they wanted to, they can continue to gain a bigger net worth lead here, keep them boxed into their base, and wait for this next Roshan on Extreme Gaming. But actually, it looks like that might be what they're doing. I mean, we're getting into like the ultra late game scenario where the Medusa is kind of scary, and they don't have multiple Heaven's Halberds. They got a single one completed on the Doom.
I mean, you have the Butterfly as well, already done on the Medusa, which is pretty scary.
The Butterfly on, sorry, the Medusa?
Yeah, did I say Medusa?
Yeah, you did.
Oh, okay.
Just crazy.
I was like, did I not say Medusa?
No, you said Medusa. So between that, the Elven Tunic, and the Evasion Talent at 15, like you're going to need magic damage to blow up, but thankfully they do have the Bloodthorn and the Storm Spirit. So true strike from that. I think that's going to be like, I mean, if you break off the Bloodthorn, I think Medusa's able to trade with the entire team on Extreme.
Yeah, it's a scary moment. Paparazzi on his way to the Aghanim Scepter, which is one of the sickest abilities for the Storm Spirit. Just that AoE Vortex is incredibly strong, and if you get caught by this, or multiple heroes get caught by this, like, Drink wants to go in and try and save people with the Snowball, but you can only choose one. Or I guess, I mean, not actually, but I mean, Storm can only choose one. Forget everything I just said.
Already forgotten. All right, so they are choosing to play it slow. That's what they're choosing. Waiting for this next Roshan to respond. So it's going to be at the very least 2 minutes until Roche is back up, and it's just not confident enough without that Aegis, without that potential refresher shard. We're going for Roche number 3 coming up here. But yeah, this Medusa kind of scary at this point. If they have to walk out of the high ground, they could turn things around on them pretty quickly. And, Medusa and Invoker are both super solid heroes at holding that high ground. But in this next team fight, you are giving Ashe the opportunity to farm up this BKB.
That is true. That is a big deal.
I mean, Storm's going to have a much harder time jumping him on the back line. If it's a late Roche respawn, then I think Ashe is going to be able to get it. Otherwise, if it's a quick one, then they're going to be able to just
have a nice ward here, but Tank also sees on the backside. They get the Doom, but the Lotus reflected once again onto the Doom. The question is, can they kill the Medusa? There it is. The AoE Vortex. Tusk goes down, and Morphling destroys this Medusa. Fiend's Grip from downtown, holding the DP in place. You don't have buyback. Medusa, yeah, she can come back, but Doom's going to have that refresher. So second Doom is online as soon as she shows herself.
Yeah, you took so many auto attacks so fast, courtesy
there
of
it
that
is. Fissure, he gets AoE Vortex, the Doom comes out, and now you're dead. You got no answers here for the side of Shenzhen, and Ashe trying to hobble his way back to the base. No BKB isn't completed. He gets the Deafening Blast, but it is not enough. And Extreme Gaming, man, 2-0 tonight.
In good form after what YVB did to them the previous night, and I was a little bit worried. Maybe they were shaken after that match. I mean, they bring in talent like Paparazzi. They expect to just win every single series here, but dropping to that open qualifier team of players that ended up kicking off previously didn't shake them. They take a quick 2-0 against Shenzhen and ahead the entire match for both these games.
Yeah,
absolutely dominating performance out of Paparazzi in game number 1 and game number 2. This Earthshaker, the plays he made, the saves on the Storm Spirit, the turnarounds in these team fights, the escapes, the space made. Tank gotta be my MVP for this match.
Dude, he made some real sick plays, and honestly some really like not just stylistic ones, but game-changing plays, like the Echo Slam set up bottom lane into Seed, killing him behind the tier 2 tower. That was a game-changing kill for him. So yeah, I mean, he just played phenomenal on the Earthshaker.
I mean, not to discredit anyone else on the team. I mean, Doom Spirit.
Doom Spirit, yo, sign me up, dude. 5th Spirit coming to the game.
Yeah, he's like Doom, but also a spirit hero, so he gets like a built-in blink dagger.
Oh, I was just thinking it was gonna be like a really emo spirit who's like real Doomer vibes.
Yeah, the Doomer spirit, I like it. But
give me the Doomer spirit. I'm about it. I mean, we saw the like overextension there in the jungle from Paparazzi. You know, kind of a little bit uncharacteristic there, but didn't really slow them down as they just continued to farm up this game, and it was just a slow and steady game for Extreme.
Yeah, I mean, graphs say it all. Slowly, a net worth lead just becomes a little bit too much. I mean, there were moments of brilliance from Shenzhen. Like they did manage to take that fight. Yeah,
this was so sick.
The one, yeah, very nice. Finishes off Ash as well. Comes in on Bane with that dust, and this was DY holding him off for a little bit while they killed that Death Prophet there. I was a little bit concerned that Death Prophet being able to heal up on 2 strength here with the Spirit Siphon.
This one was a little bit of a weird one because they just dumped everything on the Medusa, and they were like, "Oh crap, we're so deep," and then just get punished for it. And then again, this is the other one where they make this like heavy commitment onto the Doom for the Medusa, but the Morphling's not here yet, so they just don't have the damage. And again, kind of a little bit of an overcommitment, but they're so far ahead that these types of punishes that come out from Shenzhen end up not mattering all that much, right?
And like there's no tier 1 tower down here, there's no tier 2 tower down here, so even though they didn't manage to get the kill off onto the Medusa, like there was no real objective. They took these fights in these areas of the map where they had nothing to gain on, even though you could partially blame them. Oh yeah, this fight, Paparazzi and chase down. But you could partially blame that last fight on the fact that Tier 1 was still standing there and decided to take the fight, but there's also no objectives for Shenzhen to get when they won that team fight. And this was the blink into the pit, and Morphling's fingers just too quick. Death Prophet melts so quickly without armor to the Morphling. He decides to blink beside him. If you could have gotten a Shiva's Guard, you would have maybe been able to stand your ground and take his first life and turn that fight, but not with the items that you had.
Yeah, I mean, they did have to get in the pit to stop this, right? But the fissure block from Tank, I mean, we can talk about it as Earthshaker all day. The fissure block literally won them this Roche fight. It just prevented the team from going in, and Death Prophet just kind of jumped the gun on it.
There's a couple things. Fissure block, no armor. The fact that, oh god, silence didn't land because that tornado was just a lot of factors in that fight. And so many times this Doom hit himself, but this Weaver, quick fingers with that Lotus Orb, and that's the end of the game. This Medusa getting melted.
There it is. Give it to you, boy. Tank, incredible performance this game. He was an absolute pleasure to watch. That escape has to go down as one of the coolest Earthshaker escapes I think I have ever seen.
Yeah, he did it all. Like, if he didn't pop that smoke as well, the courier would have scouted him, and I think he would have gone down. But his smoke popped like as he was finally escaping. His blink dagger was just about off of cooldown towards the end.
Sick.
So, yeah, amazing jukes, amazing saves, teamfight contributions, baits, all by Tank.
Yep, 8-4 and 16, baby, says it all.
Yeah.
Great performance from Extreme, just in general. Shenzhen, just not their night. You know, they just struggle a little bit here in these games, but down, but not out, right? They've still got a lot more Dota to play. They're going to go to 2-2 so far in the DPC, and they'll be back in, let's see, 3 days. They'll be back in 3 days up against CDEC. As for Extreme, they got a game in a couple days up against Magma, so that's going to be a good one. I'm actually really excited for the Magma series.
I got more good news for everybody watching. If you're a fan of Extreme, you're a fan of Tank. Well, because they haven't played too many of the matches every single day CNDPC is running, you're going to see an Extreme game from now on.
Heck yeah,
December
baby.
12th, December 13th, December 14th, and the 17th. It's all Extreme all the time, baby. Until this DPC first half ends and we got our Christmas break.
Sign me up for that, man. Give me some more of that. I can go for that. Yeah, I mean, this was just a super fun night. I mean, both really interesting games. Honestly, I think Extreme Gaming just played it incredibly well. And I just look forward to, like, honestly, the CNDPC is something I look forward to so much. Like, these games are so hype.
I had a lot of fun watching these ones tonight, and excited to watch more Tank, Paparazzi, the rest of the crew here. But that is going to be it for us tonight, Ricky.
It is. Yeah, it is. It's been a lot of fun. But shout out to both of tonight's winners. Obviously, Series 1 was going to be Neptune getting their first win. Not going winless, I guess, in the DPC is quite nice for them. So congratulations. And then obviously Extreme. But again, it is it. Hope you guys enjoyed the broadcast. It was a lot of fun, as always. I'm our Cryptic. I'm here with the legend himself, Mr. Neff Sensei. Make sure to check this guy out everywhere. He's quite funny. Quite funny. Also, quite handsome.
Hilarious.
Quite handsome.
True.
That is known.
True on all accounts.
Yes. Neff, any final thoughts before we throw it away for the night?
Thank you so much for tuning in. Continue to watch these Dota games, everybody, and we'll see you next time. You've got better things to do, but you'd much rather hang out with me and Ricky. Let's be honest.
That's true.
We'll see you then.
All right. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in.
1号位就大家的好兄弟啊，就好朋友啊，就没啥可介绍的了呀。那肯定呀，反正我和他，出道的时候我俩是队友吧，然后我当时觉得他就是 AM1。主要看我会玩什么吧，就从会玩里的选吧。是的。好，谢谢。